Case against Bryan Kohberger. It's coming up. Well, still a little ways away. Coming up in early summer of next year, 2025. But it's not going to be happening in Moscow, Idaho anymore. Judge John Judge approved the change of venue, and with it also comes a new judge. Joining me to discuss, defense attorney, former prosecutor Eric Faddis. Eric, let's talk about the logistics of this and what does it mean for the case. I mean, obviously, same defendant, same prosecution, all that, but when it comes to the judge themselves and obviously the location, new jury pool to pick from, what are we looking at here for Kohberger?
I think some potential key differences are how the judge might see this defense alibi, if you want to call it that. The initial judge really had some skepticism about that, and there was a question as to whether defense would even be able to run that defense at trial. But now with the new judge, they get a new set of eyes on it, perhaps a new perspective that defense can advocate to try and garner some help on the defense side or on the alibi side. And then there'll also be a new jury, which is a huge change.
So does this affect all of the rulings that Judge John Judge has made thus far? Is it all go back and kind of be reset? The new judge can set new ground rules. I know not a ton has been really set or changed, but how does it affect that?
So typically there's a doctrine called the law of the case doctrine. And what that means is that prior rulings usually stand. They're going to stay in place and the parties can rely upon them in preparing for trial. So I don't think it's going to overturn or undo any prior rulings, but there could be some new stuff that comes and some potential curveballs and different unexpected things with the new judge on board.
Just knowing that we know about the case, what's some of your predictions on this, just in your own opinion, your own conjecture of what you think maybe may happen here in the next, what do we got, like 7, 8 months before the trial actually takes place?
I think it was a smart move for the defense to request a change of venue. They've got that granted. So what they're going to have is not a jury from Moscow, Idaho, that has been entrenched in this horrible tragedy for years. Instead, they're going to have folks who are a little more detached from that and perhaps have not drawn conclusions yet about what happened or who they believe is guilty. And so I think that helps out on the defense side. But the alibi they're running is just not the most compelling. There's not a witness supporting it. It's just some claim that he was driving around somewhere else. And I'm not sure how sturdy that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It seems like you could try this anywhere. And if that's your defense of he likes to drive around and look at the stars, I don't know that that's going to be that compelling. But I mean, if you take this to a larger city, folks, different atmosphere, different mindset. You think about another city that's far away from where you are. You have an impression of it. The locals have their own impression of it because they're there every single day. Does that change that at all in the perspective of driving around in the dark? Like, oh, it's more nature-esque, and that might be that's what people do over there.
Yeah, I mean, different people in different locales have different pastimes. They have different activities, and but usually with an alibi, it's critical to have a witness who will say, "Yes, Koberger was with me, and we were driving around," or something like that. He doesn't have that, and so does it make it a whole lot stronger just putting it in front of a bunch of folks who may have a different worldview, who may have different life experiences? Maybe, maybe not, but I don't see anything that really moves the needle too far on the alibi side with this change of venue.
Sure. Ann Taylor is, of course, the defense of Kohberger, who raised the issue of wanting to move this, and it was an interesting way that she did it. She did that phone survey without getting permission for it. It was more of a do the thing and then ask for forgiveness later. And I think a lot of us on the sideline were like, "Wait a second, like that's not a great way of handling this." And initially, she got scolded by the judge, and then the judge was kind of like, "Okay, keep doing that. Let's see what you get." And they got what they got. And obviously, this is the outcome. How common is that for an attorney to do? This is a big change in the trial. This is not something small or minute. This is changing the whole damn thing up. Um, how often does that happen where an attorney will go and just kind of do something that they know probably shouldn't be done, could have pretty big consequences depending on how the judge looks at it? Luckily, the pendulum swung her way in this. But is that a common tactic to use?
I've never seen this pretrial questionnaire sent out to just community members gauging how they feel about a particular case. I've never seen that. And there are some concerns about, influencing prospective and future jurors with that measure. That being said, sometimes defense especially, you got to get creative and you got to advocate for your client. He's facing the death penalty now. And so you've got to pull out all the stops. That's what she did, and it paid off for her.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.